Dear learners, welcome once again. We have teacher Ahiliponosa. Now today we are talking about some equations. Those equations, when you graph, you end up in a curve. Now imagine if you have a circle like this one, and it has 2 points A and B. If you decide to move right away from A up to B, that means that you have moved in a straight line, or what you call linear. And if it's an equation, it's said to be a linear equation. However, one may decide to move from A to B along this curve, or from A to B along the upper curve. Therefore, that means that we have such equations that when you graphed, they end up in a curve. And such equations, when graphed end in a curve, we have the quadratics. The quadratics, we may have ax squared plus bx plus c. That is one of the equations. When you graph, they end up in a curve. Other equations that can end up in a curve, we have the cubic equations. When we talk about cubic equations, we may have 2x cubed plus 4. By the moment this power is 3, it means that it is a cubic equation. When the power is 2, it means that it is a quadratic equation. And the other equations that can give us curves, we have also what we call the circle equations. When we can have that x squared plus y squared equals 5. When we have that means that those are where we will find that the r is the radius of the circle. Where r, this is r squared, and r squared is going to be 5. But as per today, we want to talk about to capitalize so much on 2 quadratic equations, because these ones we shall have a look at them, but at a later stage. Therefore, what we are going to capitalize on so much are quadratic equations. Then one may ask, what are the quadratic equations? What are the uses or the applications of quadratic equations? Now, when we talk about quadratic equations can be seen in various forms. One, we can form quadratic equations. We can form quadratics. Quadratics can be formed. Then two, beyond forming the quadratic equations, also we can solve the quadratics. We can solve that quadratics. And after solving the quadratics, also we can graph the quadratics. And many more things can be worked upon quadratics. Now, one may wonder again, why do we form quadratics? And what's the essence of forming quadratics? Now imagine that in these days, one is interested in buying a certain plot. Maybe we might say, what's one? Bought a plot with dimensions. The dimensions as stated below. Its length is 4 meters more than its width. Here we have a certain man has just got some money, and so his target is to buy a plot, and when the dimensions of the plot are, the length is 4 meters more than its width. Now the task, one may ask you, the task. How was one to know the area of his plot? On several occasions, the shapes in which the plots are being sold, it is which time to time. Therefore, we have this shape of a rectangle. When we talk about the length and then the width, automatically the length is the longest side and the width is the shortest. Then we can say let the width be x meters. Let the width be x meters. Now, if the width is x meters, then we've been told that its length is 4 more than its width. That's an implication that now the length, by the moment we add one more, that means that there is an additional sign. Therefore, the length is going to be x plus 4. Those are meters. But we are so aware that when you need to get the area of a rectangle, area of a rectangle equals length times width. Length times width. Now, where we have length, we shall have x plus 4. Where we have width, we have x. This is the same as if we begin with the x and end up with the x plus 4. These two are the same. Now, when we have this, it means that the one outside is having a double effect onto whatever is inside the bracket. We first multiply by this and then by that. So therefore, the area is going to be x times x plus 4 times x. So x times x, that is x squared plus 4x. Therefore, since we've been asked to look for the area of the plot, the area of the plot is going to be x squared plus 4x. We'll put this one meters squared. That is how we form quadratic equations. Therefore, next time we shall have a look at how we can solve quadratic equations. But as for now, go back and revise how we use it to form quadratic equations. Thank you very much. Let us meet the second time. Wish you the best.